Today, I will be discussing an issue that is very prevalent in our lives. Obesity in children has become an extremely huge problem in the nation that we live in. According to the Center of Disease and Control, childhood obesity has more than tripled in the past 30 years. In 2012, more than one-third of children and adolescents were obese or overweight. Obesity doesn't discriminate between race, ethnicity, social class, or any other determining factor. Obesity has become a huge epidemic in the country that we live in. Parents should be absolutely ashamed that children have come to this type of status where obesity is so common. In my opinion, I believe that childhood obesity starts at home, where the child's life is shaped by their parents and their guardians. Many parents may not realize what they're putting their child at risk for in the future. According to an article by Patricia Eilerman, childhood obesity increases the risk for over 20 diseases or chronic diseases. These conditions include coronary arterial disease, hypertension, cerebrovascular disease, which causes strokes, hyperlipidemia, type 2 diabetes, respiratory issues, and some types of cancer. Obesity is defined as an abnormal accumulation of body fat that has an adverse side effect on your health. For a child to be considered obese, their BMI must be in the 95th percentile. Many things are to blame for the skyrocket of obesity in children. Have you ever went to the store and tried to purchase a healthy diet? Since I've graduated and I've started buying groceries by myself, I've noticed that healthy groceries are extremely expensive. When I was in college, the average college student, we're on a cheap budget, so we lived off Totino's pizzas, ramen noodles, things like that are so cheap, and they're the most unhealthy choice that we could have made. Compared to a grocery bill with cheap items in them that are unhealthy, compared to the expenses of vegetables, fruits, lean protein, is crazy how more expensive it is to be healthy. The average McDonald's bill, if you've ever noticed, you could go to McDonald's and get a Big Mac, and the meal is approximately anywhere from $3.99 to $4, somewhere in that range, when you get a drink and fries with it. Have you ever went and tried to get a salad from there? If you get a salad, it doesn't come with drink or fries or anything like that, because that would be an unhealthy choice that would go along with your salad. But if you get a drink, a salad and a drink is somewhere that ranges in between $4.79, and when you get a drink, it could be up to $7, depending on what kind of salad you get. That just seems crazy to me that a fresh salad is more expensive than something that has to be prepared by a worker there, like a Big Mac. Another factor that I have noticed that keys in to childhood obesity is a lack of physical activity. Frederick states in his article discussing childhood obesity that the immediate cause of overweight and obesity is an energy imbalance. When I was little, I didn't have video games, we didn't have cell phones back then, so I used most of my time playing outside, and I was in a lot of sports. Even though I'm 21 years old, the times have drastically changed for kids in the way they play now. For an example, I was camping during the 4th of July, and we were all sitting around having a big dinner, and there were 5 kids sitting in a circle, and they were all playing on their smartphones. And I'm sitting here thinking, when I was that age, we were playing tag, hide and seek, something, but we weren't sitting in a circle just staring at an electronic device and spending our time on that. Video games, smartphones, and other types of electronic devices have completely taken over the way that our children have learned to play. Instead of being active outside, most children live a sedentary lifestyle, which causes childhood obesity. Now that I have defined childhood obesity and discussed some risks with you, I would like to discuss the major issue with childhood obesity. Like I said earlier in my speech, childhood obesity can cause diseases such as coronary arterial disease, hypertension, cerebrovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, respiratory issues, and other types of cancer. It may not be evident that they're causing their kids to have such diseases like this in their future lives. Type 2 diabetes, which was used to be formerly called adult onset diabetes, is the most prevalent disease associated with childhood obesity. Just to put into perspective on how dangerous diabetes is, did you know that diabetes can cause cardiovascular disease leading to heart attacks, plaques in your arteries, things like that, kidney disease, which could also cause you to be on dialysis for the rest of your life if you let it go so far, nerve disease that damages all the nerves in your peripheries, which are your legs and your hands, to where you could essentially not feel your legs from the knees down if you let it get so far. Eye disease is also very prevalent with diabetes patients, leading a lot of diabetic patients to be blind. If I was a parent to an obese child and I knew all these risks, there's no way that I would not change the way that my child lived their life, and I would change their sedentary lifestyle and activate or advocate for them to be more active. I think if parents knew these risks and were more aware of what they were putting their child at risk for, that things would drastically change in our near future. In my speech, I discussed the effects that childhood obesity can cause on children and the way that they live their lives now. This was not a simple task to overcome, but a collaborative approach to this could change the way that our children live their lives, and they could live a more healthy lifestyle and change the way they eat, causing their future to be more grand. Thank you.